What's up? Ah, oh my. It's been pretty frisky this morning. It's so, energy is just kind of all over the place. Okay, so I'm going to the store. So I just been kind of like detoxing, you know. So just clearing out my gut. So my stomach is just kind of it's just kind of bubbly. It's just kind of active. But at the same time, there are a lot of things going on because there's like this realization. My intuition is trying to communicate to me about something extremely big. So I pick up on a woman, and well, she's actually like a spirited woman. She does perform services. So the thing is that she has been working with this couple. Okay, so she likes the husband. Okay, she likes the husband, but it is the wife who is getting the work. You understand what I'm saying? So through the cards, the reader can see certain things about this woman and her husband, and she's not saying anything. She's actually creating like false scenarios, for this woman. So the thing is that she's making the woman think that there's another woman that wants her husband when really it's her. Okay, so this is the scam. Okay, you got to be careful with how people use their gifts, because human being, the way that we think, when we think that we have some type of power or we have some type of control over situations, we like to kind of bend and fit things to our abilities. Okay, so that is what makes you, a false spiritualist. Okay, if you're not going through those ego deaths, if you're not going through humility, if you're not experiencing the suffering of things, it's not intentionally false, but you're not thinking correctly. It's very important for the spiritual community to work on their mental health. Now, the thing is that you have universal support. So you really don't have to put in the work like most, ordinary individuals. The only thing that you have to learn how to do really is to surrender. Because to where you think that you know everything, you think that you really don't. You know that you know, but you don't know how. So there's a lack of awareness that you have. You know that you know, but you don't know how you know. You don't know why you know. You don't know what you know. You just know that you know. So that can like feed on your ego to the point to where, you just kind of develop this thing to where, you think you know everything. Nobody can teach you anything. You can't be taught. There comes a time within your evolution to where, it gets to a point to where, you're solely working with higher forces. But in order to get there, you can't be arrogant. You can't be in your ego. You can't have those in and out ill intentions. That's what creates the messy vibration. And that is what gets in the way of your manifestations too. So my thing is that when it comes to this woman, it's kind of like you've been a bad girl and you think nobody's seen. But that's what I'm saying. In the spiritual world, people see shit. When I went out yesterday, it was just, I spent all day in the house and I was having a good time in the house. I think that this has something to do with our girl, okay? Because there's something here going on about race. So I don't know if individuals are mixed. It's definitely giving me mixed vibes. Individuals who are multicultural, interracial, sometimes they have a little bit of a harder time with their identity because it's like they don't know what they identify with. But a lot of the times, if you're mixed with black, because black is so dominating, it's like you're considered black, and at the same time, it's supposed to be like some type of rejection, from you being able to benefit off your white privilege, whatever. I don't really get into some of this shit. My thing is, I know that a lot of shit is true underhandedly. I've had a lot of, white friends. It's crazy. I've met a lot of white people who have like really opened up about shit. I had a girl, she tells me that her family is racist. Oh, but she liked those black men, honey. She absolutely loved them. I said, oh, damn, ain't that about it? Child, she loved them. She loved it. So, there was a situation on the news to where it was dealing with race. It was a racist situation, whatever. And she just started crying. I'm a pack pull over somewhere. She just started crying. So I'm just like, oh my God, what's wrong? So, she just started spilling her guts. She's like, I grew up with a racist family and they told me to stay away from black people. And, she was just like, they're Trump supporters. But I'm gonna tell you something about Trump. Trump is not racist. Trump, I know a lot of people think that he's racist. He's not fucking racist. He's not fucking racist. So when she said that, I was just like, well, maybe her family is not as racist as she think that they are. Maybe she just thinks that her family should embrace more black people. Like when she said that, it just threw me off. I was just like, girl, you're not as racist as you think you are. I said, girl. So, and she's just like, yeah, because when white people get around each other, we say the N-word, all this type of shit like that. I had to be sincere on the surface, but I was dying laughing on the inside. Because my thing is, I already knew. I be knowing certain shit, I have encountered a lot of very open, authentic people within my life. So, by her just having this breakdown, I just thought it was just so beautiful. Because I've never seen her so vulnerable like this, And that was her moment of conviction. Whatever man she was dealing with, because she tried to keep it a secret. And when she told me, I said, I knew it was a brother. Because your ass, I don't know. I could just tell. Because, there was a white guy that she liked. He liked me, so it was kind of weird between us with that situation. But when she found that black man, it's kind of like, I don't know. I guess it was an experimental time. I was older and, these individuals I was hanging out with was younger. So I'm just like, okay, so they're at the period and point in their life to where they've left the nest. They're far away from home, their beliefs and all that type of stuff. So they're out here and they are exploring. Okay. So the white guy that I had dealt with, well, he was afraid. He was afraid of me. He was a great guy. He was so funny, but it's kind of like with some people, with some white boys, it's kind of like they may like black women, but they'll get with a mixed chick because it's closer to white. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, their friends, their family may be iffy about a mixed chick, but if she looks closer to white or she can pass for white, they can deal with her, but some white men, they know you cannot blame you better not bring that brownie around here, right? Okay. So, he liked me, but he was also very intimidated because he just didn't want to open up. He just didn't want to open up. Because we had the conversation, he brought it up. I can tell, when a white guy doesn't really have experience with like different dating outside of his ethnicity, because he has a tendency to talk about color a lot and race. It's kind of like he's trying to find that comfortability. Now, some people just really enjoy different cultures like myself. So, I love those types of conversations, but I can kind of tell, I'm just like, he's not really comfortable. He's not really comfortable. He's a great person, and he seems so down to earth and he seems so open. But behind closed doors, it's kind of like there are deeper things going on with him that he doesn't want to talk about. He knew about a black guy that I had been dealing with, and the black guy scared him. The black guy scared him off because he's just like, the black guy is just like, well, I got a mandingo and, she this and she that, I know when men get together, they be talking. So, that guy was probably, because when I was with the white guy, he came quick and he didn't look out for me, Then on top of that, it's like he didn't kiss me. It's like he didn't know what to do. So I'm just like, I'm gonna let it slide this time. I know, I know that pussy be good, like it takes a while because every woman's body is different. So you have to get used to her body. So you should not feel ashamed, the first couple of times because you have to get adjusted, So, I'm just like, well, it's going to be different the next time. The first time I just kind of wanted him to take control because I feel like men are more comfortable with taking control because, he the one who initiated it. I wasn't trying to do anything with him. And so it seemed like he really enjoyed himself. So, then when he starts talking to that guy, he's just like, oh yeah, well, I got a mandingo and, she did this and she did that. And that hurt the white guy's feelings, because it's just like, she didn't do all that with me, and I can't do all that with her. And he's thinking like, my Mandingo is probably not as big as his. He's having all of these questions. All of these questions are creating like all of these insecurities. So I really liked him, but next thing when I look up, he's with another girl. And the thing is that I'm just like, he looks more comfortable with her. He looks more open and more free. He looks more vulnerable with her. So I'm just like, okay, well, it just, we're just not going to have time to get it right or to figure it out, But I mean, that girl turned out to be, she was a player, so she played the fuck out of his ass. And I mean, it is what it is. When it came to the girl, the white girl, she was, because she liked the black man, she felt like she was going to lose all her black female friends. So I was just like, girl, shut up. Girl, shut up. One thing about black people, we love being embraced. We love to be embraced. So, I mean, you do have some black people, they're angry like that. You know what I'm saying? But no. I mean, well, I ain't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Because she was happy. I mean, she was so cold and so uptight. And it's like when she met that black man, it's like something in her just warmed up. So I was just like, yes, girl. Yes. That's that jungle fever, girl. Yes. So, people think that jungle fever, they think that it has a lot to do with interracial. Jungle fever is actually a fever. It's actually an aphrodisiac. I get into a lot of sexual practices. I don't know. I just cannot put my shit. I just don't want to put my shit out like that, because I don't want people trying to seduce and like have all of this crazy control over people, through all of these sexy vibes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't even use this shit for myself. I use it on myself, but I would never use it on somebody else. So I'm just like, well, it's no point of teaching, because, well, maybe I might put that, I might just create another art therapy session for like sexuality. Wow. I think so. I mean, it's definitely been like a lot of sexy vibes going on. And I mean, I feel like I do have insight to jungle fever that most people don't, because, people think it's like, oh, you got jungle fever because you like a different ethnicity. But it's so much deeper than that. It's actually a chemical reaction. It's, jungle fever is a very high-spirited connection between two people. So, no, you don't have to be different races. But my thing is, the two of you may have experienced different races. And so you have been lit by the fever. So when you encounter somebody else who's also been lit by the fever, when the two of y'all get together, that's the jungle fever. But it does start with different ethnicities, because anatomy, and this is the truth, we are different physically. Okay? Just like, black people get sickle cell. White people don't get sickle cell. There are some white people that have diabetes, but diabetes is more so of us. You understand what I'm saying? So, I do. I just don't want to get too sexy. I don't want to be too sexy on like openly. I think that I'm gonna make some content, and people just gonna have to pay for that shit. Cause I'm trying to tell you, I got the juice. I'm trying to tell you, if you can't get pregnant, I can get you pregnant. If you can't get it up, I can get you up. I can do it. I just, vitality, energy, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing it behind the scenes for a very long time. I'm very sexually intimate with myself too. So, I've done a lot of experimentation. I don't know. I just, that jungle fever, baby. Yes, it is a chemical reaction. You'll notice that after some time, that your body does not smell the same. Everybody's body produces like a smell, or their own smell, or their own odor. That jungle fever, that should be switching it up. You know what I'm saying? And you can actually tap into the source a little differently too. Okay? But I'm just saying, it's a different experience. But I mean, whatever. You know, sometimes a connection, an experience like that is too intense for some people. You know, they start getting, oh shit, they start getting in their head about shit. You know, so it's what you call, it's like it has like a mind-blowing effect. Child, you lose your mind. But the thing is, in order to be in the heart, you have to lose your mind. You have to let go. It's like, it's animalistic. It's like, it's the wild. Okay? You know, the heart, you have a wild heart. But anyway, I mean, that shit was funny. So I'm just saying, because there are things that's going on with race, with this whole situation with this woman, you know. Look at that chair. That is a nice chair. So, I mean, I don't really know. I don't really pick up on the race aspect of things. It's kind of like, but it's somebody, it's just like, I didn't know you had black in you or something like that. Somebody said that. Somebody said something like that. Because I feel like a guy, it's like he's either Hispanic and white, but I do pick up he's like Native American. That's what I'm saying. I'm picking up so much here. It's like white, he's either white and black, or he's Native American and black, or he's like Hispanic and black. And I think like his woman is like white and Hispanic, or white and she's either white or she's white and Hispanic. And I just kind of feel like the reader, you know, it's like I feel like she's more so Indian, she like Native American or something like that, maybe black and Native American, or maybe she's just black, you know. But it's like she's questioning, you know, like her race, you know, like, is it because I'm black? Is it because I'm this? Is it because I'm that? I feel like for a lot of black people, that's where we first go. That's where we first go to. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to other guys, like when it comes to guys that are outside my race, that's the first thing I'm just like, it's because I'm black. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many stereotypes around black. Because it's like, if you don't get to know me, if you don't take time to know me, if, you know, I know it's because I'm black. And you've already pretty much made up your mind about who I am. Which also tells me that you don't really have a lot of experience around like black people either. Or just people in general, you know. Because, I mean, I could do the same shit. You know, I could say that, I mean, all fucking white people are racist. My personal opinion, I feel like everybody deals with racism on some level. Okay, that's honestly what I think. Because, you know, you got the black people, they got issues, you know, with a lot of foreigners, you know, people from India, people from Asia, you know, and you'll hear the black people like talk shit. You know, we're always talking shit about white people. You know, it's always a race war between white and black in America. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've known people who have traveled overseas for work. You know, there was a guy and his company was just like, you know, there's a certain part of London that you can't go to because they don't like black people. You know, so I guess he didn't know he went to that part. He went to that part and I mean, they whooped his ass. So, I mean, it's crazy. Like yesterday, I'm just like, oh no, I'm not dealing with this race war. I'm not dealing with this warfare. I'm not dealing with this. You know, I don't deal with this shit. I have been healed from that shit. Okay? So my thing is that, you know, you're not going to bring something like that to me. You're not going to say, you know, because I heard the girl said, oh, because I'm black. So now you want to hate white people or Hispanic people because you want to allow somebody to make you feel bad for being fucking black? Girl, you know, I understand. My mother had us in predominantly white schools when we grew up. So all there was white boys, okay? So it's kind of like, but the white boys, you know, they weren't interested in me. So I'm just like, oh, it's because I'm fucking black. So when I went to a more integrated schools, you know, I had a little vendetta against white boys. I was just like, fucking racist ass, privileged ass, punk ass, you know, I used to, you know, and that kind of followed me into adulthood too, because when it came to all of the white guys, it's kind of like, you know, my mom doesn't want me with a black girl, you know? So, you know, and then I'm thinking, I'm just like, oh, I'm just a girl, I'm just a kid, you know? I'm just a girl, and I'm exploring these feelings and these hormones, you know? And then I have to be hit that, you know, he has a terrible mother. You know, so then that breaks my heart, because then that's telling me something about him and how he grows up and how he sees the world. It's just like, well, what are you doing with me if you know that you're not supposed to be dealing with black girls, you know? So, like I said, it followed me into adulthood to where I had issues. But I mean, I met somebody. I met somebody who gave me a different perspective and a deeper insight into things. So, you know, I work with that person very closely. You know, I mean, that shit, the hate just left my heart. And that is trauma. That is past life trauma too. You know, my parents grew up during the time to where they experienced racist things. They've seen racist things. You know what I'm saying? They're black. So, and even with my father being half black and half Asian, you know, he experienced some shit, you know, totally different than just the typical average black person. So I'm just like, whoa, there's so many racial trauma within my bloodline. My thing is, I cleared all that shit out. I cleared it out. You know, because I'm gonna tell you, when it come to white boys accept me more than fucking black. You know, white boys, you know, they really don't want to see me all with all this track in my hair. Like, they like me more at my natural. You know what I'm saying? They like me naturally me. But my thing is, I like that, but I also, if I want to switch it up too, I want to be able to switch it up. I want the feeling to still be there, even if I switch it up. But when it comes to these black men, it's just like, you know, they looking at me like, girl, you need to do something with your hair. I don't like locks. It's nappy. It looks like this. It looks like that. That's what I be saying. Like, black men be so oppressing, you know, they be oppressing their women, you know. And then sometimes they'll sit there and say, especially the ones in the conscious community, oh, I like my sisters with the afros, and I like my natural sisters and all this type of shit. And then, you know, they out here fucking around, you know, with the women that got the weave, the nails, the chop, all of that shit. They out here chasing down behind that shit. I'm just like, what do you want? Motherfuckers be fake. It be fake as hell out here. I just be like, this is what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it's all about who loves you for you. That's all that matters. You know. Now, one thing I will say when it comes to men, they always want some type of desire. You know, you have to stay desirable in some kind of way. My thing is, I'm not doing that shit until you know, I told myself until I get married, but I'm just like, damn, you know, he ain't gonna just marry me without exploring all of me. But shit, I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of these men trying to build a bear, trying to make me to be what they want. Because I'm going to tell you, men, you know, I notice like some men don't even want you unless another man wants you. They could really like you, but there's nothing exciting about you if another man doesn't want you, if another man doesn't like you. It just be crazy out here with the way that people be thinking. I'd be like, what the fuck ever? You know, I'm not showing too much. I'm not doing too much. Because it's like, you know, when I fall in love, motherfuckers is going to know. They're going to see the change. They're going to be like, damn, who is that? That got her like that. That got her open like that. That got her, she done switched up, you know? It's like, you know, I don't know. My love makes a statement. So, and a lot of people are going to get it. They're going to see it. So, and if the shit don't ever happen, then it don't ever fucking happen. I love who I am. Inside and out. Yes, I go through times to where it's just like, girl, we need to create some desire, because I don't even feel like playing with that pussy, because I don't feel desirable within myself. So if I'm feeling that about myself, I'm just like, you know, yeah, I get where men be coming from, you know. My thing is, I don't be giving a fuck about that. You know, I was in a relationship one time, and I mean, the guy, my ex, he's sitting up there, he's getting all fat. You know, I don't care. I don't care about that. My thing is that if you're going to get fat, you know, you need to be happy and fat. You understand what I'm saying? Don't get all fat and then get depressed and then get all low self-esteem. Now you're sitting up here trying to abuse me. You understand what I'm saying? That's some fucked up shit. Don't do that to me. So if you're going to be fat, you still, you know, be okay with getting fat. So, you know, he's going to come to me. You know, I'm going out with my sister, and he's just like, you don't dress up for me anymore. And I'm just like, well, we don't go anywhere anymore. And anytime you do take me out somewhere, I mean, it's in walking distance of the house. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you're sitting here, you're getting fat as hell. You don't you don't hear me complaining. The nerve. How dare he? I couldn't believe that shit. I was like, oh, look at this. And see, that's the thing. When people not feeling good about themselves, they'll take that shit out on you. Ooh. Yes. And I'm gonna tell you too, you know, when it comes to the white boys, we're having sex with them, they are more expressive. It's like, you know, they're more expressive, they're more open, you know. Like, you're gonna know, you know, like, they be talking, they be making noises, you know. When it comes to black men, I've been with Hispanic and Asian men, it's just like they're quiet. It's just like, and my I don't want to put pressure on nobody, you know. I don't want to put, maybe, I don't know, I think because they be listening to me, because I'm usually more expressive, you know. But when I get with a white guy, I mean, it's different. It's like we're expressive together. Either we're expressive together, or it's kind of like I'm listening to him the whole time, because I'm trying to tell you, you know, men be holding back. I don't like that shit. They be holding back. It's just like, bruh, you know, like, is it something stuck in your butt or something? Like, what's wrong? Like, open the fuck up. Like, what's up? But like I said, they probably be listening to me. But then you got some of them, they be like, shh, you're gonna make me come fast. You know what I'm saying? I feel, explore, you know, explore. So, you know, to my girl, I feel like you found out something about this man. He's not a good man. I pick up that he's really good looking too. I'm going to tell you, the ones who are really good looking, sometimes they be having the most self-esteem issues. It's like the most beautiful people have it's like they're uniquely beautiful. They're stunning. And it's just like they have bad attitudes. They have low self-esteem. They're mean. Just terrible. So, you know, this guy was that, and I'm just like, yeah. You know, that's why I be telling, I'm not convinced by a pretty face, you know, because the thing is that people who are very beautiful, it's like they never know how beautiful they are. And even though they know that they're beautiful, they don't want to be arrogant about the shit. But then it's kind of like they deal with a lot of people who are always trying to make them feel like less. People who are, and the thing is that people love to mind fuck beautiful people. And it's kind of like, oh, you know, because you think that you're so good looking, you think that you've got me sprung, or you think that you got me wrapped around your finger. And the thing is that you do be having them sprung, you do be having them wrapped around your finger. But that's not your intentions. It's just that they are afraid, because they're giving so much of their power to you because of your beauty. Beauty is an archetype of a goddess. So it's just like, rather you're a man or rather you are a woman, you hold that goddess beauty. It is what it is. People can't handle it. They can't stand it. So it's like they want to destroy it. They want you to think that you're not beautiful. So now you're out here beautiful as hell, and then you're all bitter and you're all uptight and all pessimistic, and then you're jealous of other people. And it's just like, you have nothing to be jealous about. It's like the world drags beauty. When they can't control it, they drag it. And beauty, God forbid, if you're beautiful on the outside and the inside. Oh, God. God forbid. You're a target. People will dedicate their life to trying to make you feel like less. And God forbid if you're talented. Oh my God. Talented, beautiful, inside and out. Oh goodness. You look around and it's just like, why am I not receiving my flowers? Why does it seem like motherfuckers want me to feel rejected? Why does it seem like people are not who they say that they are? Why this? You have all these questions for people around you because intuitively, you know, people are abusing you psychologically. You're wondering why it seems like somebody wants to hold you so that they can feel big about around you. You know, somebody wants to have a outgoing, overly excited personality, because you shine bright. So they're trying to outshine you. And it's just like, why does this feel weird? Right. You know, behind closed doors, this person is like introverted. But then when we're out in public, you know, it's kind of like they're loud and attention seeking and they're this and they're that, you know. It'd be the weird shit. It'd be the weird shit. You have to question the weird shit that people do and how you're feeling about the weird shit that they're doing. Because when you shine, people have a tendency, it's like they want to outshine you. It's like, why can't we shine together? God damn, you know? My thing is, I'm quiet, so I'm gonna be fucking quiet. You can shine all the fuck you want to, you know? And you better not let me catch nobody hating on your shine, or I'm gonna send them some bad energy. You know, I'm kind of like that quiet, you know, that quiet observer. You know, it's just like, you know, I know that they are the light, and I dare you to try to dim their light. You know, so I'm kind of like that guard dog. I'm kind of like always on guard to protect people's light, because I can see shit. I can see. Motherfuckers is fucked up out here. I had a best friend. She was beautiful inside and out. And I mean, the world just ate her up, and I did my best. I did my best to keep her on top. But the thing is that she turned on me. All of that pain, all of that anger, all of that hatred, that, you know, and she's spilling it out on me. And I'm just like, oh no, you can't abuse me. You know, you can't do this to me. And I'm the one, you know, helping you face these motherfuckers. But at the same time too, you know, it's like she didn't know how beautiful she was. She dealt with men. She would deal with like those thugs and shit. And I'm just like, girl. But when it came to her dealing with a man who had his shit together, you know, she felt intimidated because she didn't know what she wanted to do with her life. She didn't see her future. You know, like she wasn't worried about all of that. She wasn't thinking about that. And, you know, men made her feel dumb, or it made her feel like she wasn't good enough because she didn't have a plan. My thing is, half of them wanted her to feel that way because they're intimidated by how beautiful she was. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's so mentally taxing. I be seeing it. I be like, oh, you know, But I mean, I done said enough. I done spoke enough. So I'm about to go in here and get this water, get this coconut water. So until the next time, we'll talk again. Thank you.